Because that's how they talk to you in college when they get ready to cut the scholarship.
Exactly.
But they don't want to cut it.
Oh yeah.
They'd rather you be obedient, so they ain't got to make the sacrifice.
So they ain't got to make the sacrifice. I mean, and that's what it boils down to, in the long run. Mm-hmm. You inform them that and I try to do it in a way that it makes sense. So I asked them a simple question. If I told you I would give you a performance enhancing drug free that will improve your performance, would you take it? Don't cost you anything.
Not illegal.
Not a dime out your pocket. Would you take it? Can I increase your one rep max? Can I increase your reaction time? If I told you I can increase your efficiency by 5-6%, would you take it? And most of them say yes. And then I explain to them how sleep is the most important thing that they should be doing. They should be getting all the tangibles based on the research. And I said, y'all remember that performance enhancing drug I was talking about?
That's it.
That's it. But it's not a magic pill. There's no magic pill because it requires discipline and consistency. All the things that we preach about and we preach to them, it comes back to those same qualities, those same habits, those routines, those disciplines of, can I turn my phone off an hour before I go to sleep? Can I get in the bedtime can I go to sleep at the same time every night?
Now let me tell you something. This is so profound, and it speaks to the change that happens with the demographic that we're coaching now.
Right.
Because in our time it was hard work. And the hard work now is shutting it off, shutting it down, because the quality of sleep that you get when you fall asleep looking at your phone is different from the quality of sleep that you get when you cut your phone off, allow your brain to shut down and then sleep.
Because
there are two different types of sleep. And let me get this point before you go, Coach. Rufus, I'm gonna tell you this here. I just say shut the device off. And I could give better reasoning like he's doing right now. To be honest with you, I'm also reading a book on sleep right now that I'll talk about after you finish. Mm-hmm. But when I was coming up, son, we watched TV and then TV went off.
Yeah.
At 2:00, they start playing 3:00, they start playing the Star Spangled Banner. And then the TV go, shh. It'd be a white cloud on the TV. There wasn't no
nothing to watch.
There was nothing to watch. Right. The whole TV, like all the channels, the only channel that was going on, and he'll tell you this, watch this. The only channel that was going on was the gospel channel.
That's it.
Miami, it was channel 45. They got prayer all night, and they all night.
They call it for your holy water. Call it for your special prayer.
Exactly, and they leave that playing all night in the house sometimes. Some family, my Aunt Ethel did that. That's the only channel that went all night. All the rest of them, that thing cut off, man. And it didn't start back until 5 a.m. or 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So, man, speak to them being able to shut things off.
Man, I would argue to say that rest and recovery is just as, if not
more important,
of greater importance than the actual training, because it's a skill. Discipline is a skill. Being consistent is a skill. So the reason why we have so many late night shows, these corporations and companies, they thrive on us being undisciplined and our inabilities to be consistent. So, and I read like 3 or 4 books on sleep and peak performance. So Why We Sleep speaks to how the brain activity based on blue light and being on your phone before you go to sleep. The one book now, Peak Performance, talks about the buckets of sleep duration, sleep quality.
I'm doing Sleep Smarter by Sean Stevenson.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
You did it?
Yeah. I started. I ain't finished it.
Okay.
I gotta finish it.
I'm on it now.
Yeah. So like sleep quality. So there's a difference between sleep and rest, because you can be asleep and get no rest. No rest because your brain is still active. Your brain is still taking in those sounds. So people are like, I gotta go to sleep with the TV on. Your brain is still reacting to those sounds. To what it hears.
And the lights. So
this is what we tell our athletes. Blackout curtains.
Okay, stop. What do I got in my room? Blackout curtains, right? Okay. You see the tape? You see the tape on the light switch on the fire alarm, on the smoke alarm?
Oh yes,
There's tape on the smoke alarm. I put tape over the light in the room, and I close my closet door. When the lights go out, my room is
pitch black dark.
Otherwise, you cannot what?
You can't sleep. You can't get rest. You can't get rest.
You sleep, but you're not getting maximum rest.
Your mind is responding to all of those senses, and that's when
all the external stimuli is stimulating you.
That's it. So, and I tell them, set the mood for you to go to sleep. Just like we set the tone for, we call it prep work. You can call it movement. You can call it whatever. Before you know what I'm saying, hype music, whatever you do before some activity, right? You set the tone for that, for what you're about to do.
Wrap you down.
You wrap you down. So cool down. So I tell them, set the mood. Get a stretch in. Take a nice hot shower, nice hot bath. Make sure the room is pitch black dark. Shut it down an hour and a half, 2 hours before you get ready to go to sleep. Stay off your phone, stay off your computer. I mean, you're not missing anything. You've been doing the same thing you're doing all day, scrolling up and down your phone. And if you say you want to be an elite athlete, this is what is required. This is the choice you made. We didn't make this choice. You said you want to be a D1 athlete. You said you want to, get that scholarship. Can you do it without it? Yes. But now you're making yourself susceptible to injury.
And you're making yourself susceptible to the person who is.
Exactly. Because the person.
Yeah, let me say this, Coach. Things change. When I was coming out of school, you were just competing with the dudes in the United States.
No, now
you're competing with the guy who's doing Senegalese wrestling in Senegal. Now you're competing with the Russian kid who's a Greco-Roman wrestler that one of the coaches is looking at saying he could play D-line. Now you compete with the track and field kid from another country. Now you compete because they're just looking at athletes and talent, and they're looking at talent pools.
Yep. And
they will grab a kid who's playing rugby in Australia and
develop him
and bring them over here to play college football
and develop them. Yeah.
It's a global. You compete in a global pool now, which is different than when we competed.
So now you lessen your chances. So I to any high school athlete, college athlete, I would simply say, because everybody's training, everybody's doing, workouts because that's the popular thing now. I got to work out so I can post my video. But what are you doing when you're away? I tell them, I'll eat your opponent and I'll sleep your opponent. I'll eat your opponent, not meaning, I'm gonna go binge eat and eat McDonald's and Zaxby's and Cane's and In-N-Out, but providing nutrients to your body that allows you to sleep, allows you to move better, give you a better quality of life, so that you're healthy and so that you can perform. Because being able to perform on the elite level is about repeatability. How often can you perform at this level for how long? Because a lot of times it's really not about the performance. Can you put these performances together back to back to back to back to back? Can the coach count on you and be consistent on a Tuesday night? And can you put that same performance together again on a Saturday night? It really boils down to what you do in between Tuesday and Saturday. So if your sleep habits are terrible, if your body is malnourished, if you're dehydrated, then the likelihood of you recovering and being able to play that Saturday or have a repeat performance is slim to none. To perform at that level, the level that you is required, one, and the level that you said you want to play, because you got to dominate. There's no more victories. You don't just go out on the coin, but you know what? I'm going out here to, get a mere 10-5. Or I'm going to go out here, I'm going to try to, I don't know what the terminology is in wrestling, but I'm going to go out here and I'm going to just win a couple matches and see what I can get. Because in our line of work, coming from where we come from in wrestling or in football, if you go out there half-telling, you get hurt.
No, you're going to get hurt.
You will get hurt.
All of us have seen people who can't walk anymore.
And it's real.
It's real. It's not.
In real time, for the average citizen, it won't hurt right now, but it will, because it becomes the compound effect, the domino effect. So this domino gets bigger and bigger as time progresses, but eventually it'll catch up to you. I think it's super important, and I want to keep it simple, that you eat nutritious food and you get rest. Because now is the time where you're doing all of the growth for high school athletes. This is when you are making those adaptations, and everything is a stimulus. Anything is anything that you are around externally is stimulating those neural adaptations in whatever it is that you're doing. So sleep, one, is the most important. Food, water.
I tell you what. So we got, you mentioned these things. We mentioned food, sleep, mindset, movement, and recovery. And we covered food, and we covered sleep just now. Mm-hmm. But I think what we teach is people don't understand that sleep and recovery, there's some crossover.
Right.
They're different.
Totally different.
So speak to recovery, the importance of recovery, and how it differs from sleep for the for athletes, especially those athletes who are, and for those people who are listening, man, you're a high school athlete getting ready for college or think you want to play D1, the things that he's mentioning, he's not talking about push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and running. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about the intangible tangibles, the things that require discipline. Yep. Like you can't have any discipline unless you're a disciple. Yep. Like you got to be a disciple to the process. Yep. And the discipline is the athletic discipline. Am I disciplined enough to look at the food choices and ask myself, is this life or is this death?
Is it death? Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. So if I go life and death, Ruben, if I give you an apple or a pizza, which one is life? Apple. It's very simple. If I give you a Big Mac, all right, and I give you a Snickers bar after a workout, which one is life and which one is death?
It would be Snickers. I can't eat that.
Right, it would be, because you can't eat peanuts. It would be the Snickers bar. Understanding the timing and
absolutely.
And that's going to move us into the discussion of recovery, man. So go.
So recovery and sleep. Recovery happens during sleep, right? It can happen during sleep, but recovery and sleep are interdependent on one another. Now, recovery is an umbrella where a lot of things can fall. So we have active recovery, we have passive recovery, and there are a lot of modalities and methods that you can use to recover.
Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead, Coach.
And I mean, with technology, so much has changed now where you got cryotherapy, hydrotherapy, you got acupuncture, you got cupping, things that have been around for centuries, things that have been used and utilized for centuries, but now they're starting to be integrated and applied. Sometimes they're applied in a systematic fashion. So some have a formula. If you know what I'm saying, if you do two or more of these modalities, after a workout, then there's an 80% chance that you have a faster recovery rate, which I don't think I really subscribe to, because I understand that psychologically you have to do something that you like. So telling someone to go take an ice bath may put them in their sympathetic more than their parasympathetic nervous system. And if the sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight, and that elicits a stress response. If I want my athlete to relax and calm down, put them in an ice bath is going to elicit the opposite response of what I want. While there are benefits to the ice bath, and I get it, I err on the side of how we are wired.
And they may not be ready for that.
They may not be ready for that exposure.
18 and 22.
They might not want that.
They
might elicit a better response. And again, inflammation is not always a bad thing. Chronic inflammation is. Your body's going to recover regardless. Your body is wired to recover. Your body is wired to heal itself. We are wired to heal ourselves. So let's say I got an athlete, who doesn't like the cold tub. We don't have another independent. It depends on time. It depends on intensity of training. A lot of variables you got to factor into it. But if it's just practice, yeah, go get in the hot tub. Hot tub is fine. Relax your muscles. I want you to relax. I want you to be as relaxed as possible. This is when you're going to do most of your recovery. Also, then understanding, now you got to replenish your nourishment. This is your nourishment. So this is how you recover. Because I need good blood, good oxygen flow, good blood supply. I need water in order for me to recover. Keeping it simple.
Right.
I gotta replenish my glycogen storages. I need good minerals, good vitamins, things that allow my body to rebuild itself. Because again, like I said, we are wired to recover. We are wired to heal ourselves. So the food I eat, now, as an athlete, can I get away with McDonald's? Yes, you can get away with McDonald's in your youth.
Thank you.
In your youth.
And that's the thing. That is the difference with. That's the difference with when you're training college athletes or you're training high school athletes. There are things that you can allow. You have to kind of let them. This is a strength and conditioning discussion for people who are interested in doing stuff like that, or if you're interested in being an athlete or strength and conditioning coach. When Coach Pough writes his programs, he starts out with the workout.
Yep.
When you train people who are over 25 or elite level athletes, I start out with the rest and the recovery first.
Got to.
I say, what days are you going to take off?
Yep.
Here are our mandatory massage times, mandatory recovery times. If the person's married, this is your mandatory date night.
Yep.
What time does your spouse want you free? I start with that landscape and then I fill in.
Yep.
College athletes, we start with class schedule, which they already have blocked out because they know what the practice schedule is.
Yep.
And we put in based off of that, and then we work around because physiologically we're dealing with different things. Here's what you find, Rufus. When you see that young kid yoked up at 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, it's because they put some of the professional level practices in early because they've either listened to somebody or their parents have hired somebody.
Yep.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I get exactly what you're saying.
They hire somebody. Those are the people who they put premium food in their house.
Yep.
They tell their kids to go to sleep at a certain time. They understand the benefits of recovery, so they get the kids up and they make the kids stretch. Do you understand what I'm saying?
They got good guidance. They taking heed to wise counsel, and
that moves me into this point that I want to take you into, because you talk about food, sleep, recovery, and then you talked about wise counsel, which falls under mindset.
Man.
How do you encourage a young athlete to do the things that you are saying and to have that mindset shift?
I don't like to get too philosophical, but if I was talking to Rufus, I would just say before anything manifests in the physical, it has to exist in the mental. You have to see it, you have to want it here first before you will ever see it play out in the physical realm. And I don't know what people's religious beliefs are, but when God did anything, he spoke it first. He said it first, and then it was. Let there be light. And there was light. There was light. Let there be and was, meaning that it had already happened. Now it exists. He saw that it was good. So you have to speak it first, but if you're not thinking about it, if you think it, you say it. If you say it, you'll do it. So I put them in the mindset of, okay, what do you say you want? What are the things that you're inclined to have? And are you willing to do the things that are required of you, that are asked of you, that are demanded of you to be in this position? Who is your idol in this rank, in this profession? I looked at DeRay Lewis and Lawrence Taylor. I wanted to emulate them in their practices. So where does your mind have to be? And I remember in high school and college, Kobe Bryant was like my favorite all-time athlete. Not because of his physical attributes and what he did, is because of his mind and how he thought and his determination, his willingness to be different, his willingness to put the work in and not care if he was liked, not care about anything. Are you willing to be that? Are you willing to put the time in? Because we talk a lot about trusting the process, but trust takes time. Trust takes a whole hell of a lot of more time than we think it does. So, and if you really look at that phrase, trust the process itself denotes the passage of time. So what you're not just saying trust the process, you're saying trust the time. Trust the time that it takes to become what it is that you want to become. But how can you become something? How can you commit to something that you're not willing to invest in? If you're not willing to invest in yourself, if you're not willing to invest in your body, because you are a CEO now. You are the CEO of your body.
CEO of your body.
Of your body. If you're not willing to take care of your body, then you do not deserve the fruits of your labor. Because I can give you prime example. These athletes make millions of dollars. based off their physical abilities, what they're able to do on a nightly basis, weekly basis, yearly basis. I can give you that $40 million contract, and it's great now. But once your health is gone, once your movement is gone, once your thought process is fogged, you don't want that money. That money means absolutely nothing. You want your health. Health is the most important. So our mindset have to be fixed on, like you said, being disciples, being disciplined. And there's a lot of overlay, interdependentness in all of these areas, but they all fall back on principles. Because I don't like philosophy, I like principles. I like being founded in principles, because principles, you can never go wrong. Philosophies change. I can pick and choose whatever philosophy I want to pick. But if I'm grounded in principle, if I'm grounded in being disciplined, I'm grounded in building solid habits and being consistent in these acts, then I can't stray. Because if I choose one thing to do right, that one thing is going to trickle down into the next thing. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Excuse me?
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Now, who was talking to you about that the night before last? No, and who else? No. Poppy. And that's when Poppy was slapping the table and getting so upset, all right?
Yes.
Because it's not about you waking up in the morning, and it's not about you pursuing judo or football or wrestling. It's not about any of that. The thing about it is, it's a skill that you have to learn, because how you do this one thing,
that's how you're gonna do everything else.
Everything. Now,
how you wash those dishes? If you half-ass those dishes,
you're gonna half-ass it on the field.
You're gonna cut corners.
You're gonna cut corners in the math class. You're gonna ride the bike and take the shortcut, because that's who you are until you have a. When your mind is shit, you need to have a mind shift.
Yep.
Because when your mind is shit, you will produce shit. When you have a mind shift, you can become the shit.
Yep.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, here's what I want to say. I'm going to piggyback off of Coach Pough. And you got to the discussion late. He played in the NFL. He's also the strength and conditioning coach, one of the strength and conditioning coaches at the University of Maryland. He also went to Howard University after Daddy. Daddy used to go back and speak to his team. And that motivational speech that I gave at Howard University, the one that's famous, I'm talking about him in there. He was sitting in there. He's a future Howard University Hall of Famer. Played in the All-Star game. He one of the best to ever do it. And I need not tell you what fraternity he's in. Okay, because you already what?
No.
You already know.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a thing about, we got to say it, believe it, write it, and work it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you told me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got to say it,
mm-hmm.
because life and death is in the power of the tongue.
No, right.
I got to believe it, because without faith, nothing ain't gonna work.
Nothing ain't gonna work.
Right.
Without faith works, it's all dead.
It's all dead. I got to write it, because you got to write the vision and make it
plain. I got to see it, because I still got to see it.
I got to see. And then I got to work it, because the faith without the
work is dead. Right. So all of these,
none of these things can live without these four things. Now, when you look at the word become, Jesus. When you look at the word become, you have to be the thing that's on the way. Jesus. Now, the only way for you to be the thing that's on the way is you need to act like you already have it. And in order for you to act like you already have it, you got to say that you got it. You got to believe that you have it. You got to write down that you have it already. And then you have to work like you have it. And then you will become who you're supposed to be.
Yep. And when you do all those things, you change your verbiage. You change how you speak. And in changing how you speak, and you change how you think, you change how you interact. So you what I find myself saying is,